everyone, and welcome to an extended version of Home Tech. We're going to cover a couple of extra clips on this episode, this special extended episode from Jason over at ISE 2017.
Yeah, and we use the word a couple loosely. We have a lot of ground we covered over at ISE, and as we mentioned on our episode last week, we wanted to make sure we got all of these out there, and so we decided to put a number of these into a bonus episode here, and we're just going to roll these back to back, and we hope you enjoy. Thanks so much for tuning in. I am here with Ricky Suzuki from Sony. She is the product manager of this ultra short throw projector. Ricky, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Great. Well, thank you for taking a minute to chat with me and tell us about this Sony short throw projector here.
Okay, sure. So this is our new Ultra 4K short throw projector, and it's using laser light source, and the brightness is 2500 lumen, and it is a 4K native XX30 panel, and also it supports HDR.
Great. Well, it's a very, very cool unit. I know you guys had a short throw projector before this, but if I understand correctly, this one is a little bit less expensive and
yes,
maybe easier to install. Tell us about that.
Okay, yeah. It's more affordable because the previous one, BPL GTZ1, was 50,000 USD, I guess, and this is now in US 25,000.
Wow, so
yeah,
half the price.
Yeah, half the price, and also it's smaller, so it's about like 40% smaller in volume, and it's brighter, and also it's easy to install because we have a lens shift function right now.
Got it, got it. And what is the availability of the unit?
Okay, the shipping will start from April this year.
Okay, great. And then last question, I know right now you guys are showing it built into a custom console that lives below the screen. Can this unit also be ceiling mounted?
Yeah, we can do it.
Okay, great. Well, I appreciate you taking a minute to chat with me and enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you very much.
All right. All right, I've stopped by the Control 4 booth here to chat with Brad Hinsey. Brad, how's it going?
It's going great.
Good, good. You guys' booth is probably the busiest one I've seen so far.
Yeah, we like to hear that.
Impressive crowd here, and so I appreciate you taking a few minutes to chat with me. Obviously, we spoke coming off of CEDIA, and we've been talking quite a bit about you guys lately, but tell us what's new. Let's start with, we're here in Amsterdam, right? And so there's obviously some unique things about the European market. And so tell me how that market is for Control 4, and maybe what some of the unique challenges are that you see in serving this market.
So, as you know, we are truly a worldwide company.
Yep.
We have the biggest concentration in the US, but we are direct in the UK and direct in Germany, where we're interfacing with dealers directly. We have distributors in the other countries around that too. So this show is a really important one for us to interact with the dealers that we're working with directly, but also as a platform for our distributors to meet with their dealers in their individual territories as well.
Sure, and so speaking of the European market, I know one of the newer things that you guys are showing here, I believe, is the European lighting control.
Yeah,
talk about that.
Yeah, so in some ways, we're US based. We've got a great lighting line in the US, and last year we introduced our square wireless lighting.
Yep.
This year we're augmenting that line with 2 additional products. It's a dual load dimmer and a dual load switch. So you can control 2 loads of lighting independently in the same back box. Really useful for EMEA and for APAC as well.
Sure. Another thing I know that you guys are showing here that's unique to this market overseas for US listeners is voice control.
Yeah.
Huge topic coming out of CEDIA. What do you guys have going on for it here?
So we announced Amazon Alexa support for the UK English. We'd laugh about it, the Queen's English.
Yeah.
We got a lot of requests from customers over here when we announced in the US at CEDIA, and so there's been a lot of pent-up demand to get that. So we're glad to finally have that as well.
Yeah, that's great. So one other thing I wanted to ask, actually new news since CEDIA. Coming out of CEDIA, for me, one of the biggest stories there was what we've started calling RSM, Remote Systems Management, Network Monitoring. There's a lot of different terms for it. Obviously, you guys are a player in that space now with Backpack, and a new recent release, sort of baking that product into some other products. So give us an overview of that.
Yeah, so Backpack is now included on the RK1 router. It's our high-end, high-performance router. What we're trying to do here is really make it easier for a dealer to bring all of their customers into Backpack. I think, really one of the challenges that some of these remote management tools have had is getting enough critical mass on the tool that a dealer finds value in using it for all of their customers. Because if you have 4 or 5 or 6 different tools, you've got 1 or 2 customers here and 1 or 2 customers there, it's not a very useful tool. So by including it now in the router, every home needs a router.
Right.
So now all of those homes could bring in Backpack. And we really want to make Backpack that ubiquitous standard for a dealer working with packaged products. Make them more effective and not worry about folding that into the cost of doing business. It's just there for them and use it to keep your customers happy and be more efficient.
You got it. All right, Brad, well, I really appreciate you taking a couple of minutes to chat with me. I'll let you get back to work here and enjoy the rest of the show.
Thanks a lot, Jason.
All right,
Great to see you.
All right, I have stopped by the Contact booth here to talk with Yaniv. Yaniv, I was telling you we posted some pictures of these products on Twitter yesterday, and of all the tweets I sent out, this one got some attention, so I wanted to stop back by and chat with you a little bit to learn more. So before we dive into some of the specifics here, talk about Contact. What is your guys' company all about?
Great. First of all, thank you for stopping by. Contact is a manufacturer of smart home devices, and we do it for almost 15 years. The past 2 years, we started manufacturing Z-Wave products, and naturally, when Apple announced to go inside the home automation area, we started developing the HomeKit.
Started looking at HomeKit.
Yeah.
We're going to jump into that in just a second.
Yeah.
Generally, your guys' display here, obviously people are listening and they can go check out pictures on our website, but talk about these keypads. I mean, is that even what you call them? Keypads? Is that a proper term?
These are touch panels.
It's more of a touch panel, right?
As a keypad because we have relays inside. But the most interesting thing in our product is that they are fully customized. So I can take the customer's desire and put it inside the touch panel design.
Yep.
We can use any material you want. We can make glass designs in any design, any color, any graphic design. We can write indication and enlight them. We can use icons and enlight them. We can use natural materials such as marble or wood or any stone you want.
And gold, right?
Yes.
You guys had somebody stop by yesterday. Tell us that story.
We had someone here from Bahrain. He wanted a special touch panel with solid gold, and it was his demand. So we gave him the solution of solid gold touch panel with a unique design.
Yeah, that's great.
And that's what we do. This is our value proposition, a unique, customized touch panel for every customer.
They're very, very cool. And again, we'll include some pictures up on our website. But lastly, I want to go back to your comment about HomeKit. And obviously that caught my eye here, and that I think was really the main thing when I tweeted this out. Some people were very interested in that. Clearly, there's a lot of interest in HomeKit. What drove your guys' decision to get into that technology?
It's a simple decision. If Apple there, we want to be there also. We believe that they will make a good job in marketing the technology, and we want to take that wave and enjoy the ride.
Sure. Well, we'll look forward to seeing how you guys can do, and I really do appreciate.
We are going to exhibit our products at San Diego, the CEDIA show in September. We'll be there with a big booth. We'll be able to see every product that we make and all the technologies.
I'll look forward to stopping by.
Yeah,
I'll let you get back to it. I appreciate you taking a couple of minutes to chat with me.
Thank you very much, Jason.
All right, take care.
Great.
All right, I've stopped by the Stewart Film Screen booth here, and I'm chatting with Vegeta. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Good. Are you enjoying Amsterdam?
I am. This is my second time here in Amsterdam, and I love it.
Yeah, it's an awesome show. So I just wanted to make sure to stop by here and check you guys out. I have worked with Stewart before. I'm a fan of what you guys do, and I know you've got this new Phantom screen over here, so a very high ambient light rejecting screen. There's a lot we can go into on that screen, but start by telling us about some of the unique things. I know one of them is how large you guys are able to make this screen size.
Yes, so Phantom Halo actually can go up to 40 feet by 90 feet on the material because we make it in-house at styrofoam screen.
Which is, I understand, that size is a limitation on a lot of competitive ambient light rejecting screens.
Yes, most of the competitors can only do a set fixed size due to the semi-rigid substrate that they use.
Right. And so you mentioned that semi-rigid substrate. I know one of the other unique things about this screen versus other ambient light rejecting screens is that it can actually be rolled up. Talk about that.
Yes, so this screen material is a flexible material, so it's capable of being installed in all of our electric screen enclosures.
Okay, great. And then obviously with video these days, huge topic, 4K, HDR. I know a lot of people, when they think about that technology, they're going to think first maybe about the projector in that two-piece setup, but the screen has a very important role to play in that as well. And so talk about how the Phantom screen fits into the HDR picture.
No problem. Now, the most important thing is you remember you're looking at the screen itself, so you don't want the screen to do any color shift or any sort of aberrations to that film that you're watching right there. So our screen material, the uniformity is perfect, and also it's able to handle the HDR, UHD, and if you're calibrating Rec 709 or Rec 2020 even.
Great. Very important, obviously, in a theater, any theater,
yes,
but particularly in a high-end theater, which I'm sure you guys go into a lot of. So speaking of an installation, I know you've got some new enclosures. Talk about that.
We've got a new enclosure called the Torrent, and the other enclosure is called the Stealth XM. Both of them are easy for integration because of the new redesign. They are smaller housing, and also the electronics are now located on the inside the control system of the case.
That's great.
So you can easily access them.
So no more boxing the control system behind drywall and then
exactly, and then having to cut it out and getting upset over that.
I'm sure are happy to hear that. And I know you showed me some of the new sort of ways these can be mounted and things like that. So it's good. It's good to hear that you're thinking about that. Very important for the install community. So one more question here I want to talk about. I know we come to these trade shows and we talk a lot about video, and that's always a big topic, of course. A lot of attention being paid these days to OLED, new display technology, so people getting very excited about these TVs. Talk about the relevance and the importance of two-piece projection in today's world and why you still think it's important.
So the importance of two-piece projection is that the director who created the movie made it a specific aspect ratio, say 2:3:5. If you're watching it on two-piece projection, you can have a screen with masking, start at 2:3:5, and then you can close it down to 16:9 if you have some other content to watch. OLEDs don't allow you that. You have a set fixed aspect ratio, and it's going to have black bars if it has to mask down on that piece of technology. The other nice thing is, and the cinema is about a big screen experience. You want to see that film on a large screen. And it has a more cinematic feel to it, film-like feel to it when you're sitting there in a theater with the curtain opening up and the projector turning on. OLED doesn't give you that.
Yeah, I agree. I've sat in a lot of nice media rooms, and I've also sat in a lot of nice two-piece projection rooms, and there's just something different about projection. I think a little more engaging and, like you said, more cinematic. So.
Yes.
All right, well, listen, I'll let you get back to the booth here. I appreciate you taking a couple of minutes to chat with me, and enjoy the rest of your show.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right, I'm here with Tom from Basalt. Tom, how's it going?
Good. It's been very busy so far.
Yeah, great. You guys have a beautiful booth here as always. No surprise there.
Yeah, we tried our best. It's design is very important for us, so we want to put this in everything, also in the booth.
Yeah, exactly. So you guys really obviously very well known for high quality design on your keypads, and I'm a big fan of what you guys do from that angle, but just wanted to stop by and kind of learn what you guys have going on that's new. And I understand there are some advances in the way that integrators over on my side of the pond in the U.S. can now integrate your system a little more, I don't want to say smoothly, but a little more seamlessly with Crestron.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Talk about that.
Yeah, so we already had our keypads in Europe in the KNX integration, but especially in the US, have a very strong position of Crestron and Lutron as a system. So we already had our design keypads, so really made of high quality materials, available in an RS485 integration for Crestron and Lutron, and now at ISE we also show the direct CrestNet integration. So this should make the integration a lot more directly because we won't need the serial link. It's kind of an interface.
Yeah. So you guys have that additional piece of hardware, that serial link interface that has already allowed us to tie it in with Cresnet and Lutron.
Yeah,
now you've got a direct Cresnet integration.
Yeah, definitely. And for the Lutron integration, why we need the serial link is because our keypad has some unique functionalities, especially the multi-touch to quickly turn the lights on and off, but also to be able to integrate this in Lutron using the Phantom keypads.
Yeah, well, it makes a beautiful front end for like a Lutron lighting control system. So I definitely see the value in that.
And it's really straightforward as well regarding integration. We're now selling the RS485 integration for about a year and a half now. We're getting some very good feedback, not only regarding design, but also the integration and how's it going.
Good.
And even though we're in Belgium, we have local reps, and we can also ensure that you have proper technical support as well.
No, it's very important. Very important. So one of the big things I saw leading up to the show is something that I actually have to admit thought was kind of a brand new thing for you guys is audio solutions. I understand actually you've been doing this for a little while now, but you've just advanced that kind of to the next level. So just give us an overview of Basalt's audio offerings and what you guys are doing now.
Yep, and maybe important to mention is why we started with audio. So we do have our keypads that we already sell for quite a while now, for about 8 years. We also have our design iPad mounts, but especially regarding audio, we wanted to broaden the Basalt experience. We always focus on the combination of design and quality of materials, but also comfort in use and user experience. What we've seen is, from our experience in Europe then specifically, is that the KNX, the global standard for home automation, didn't have a proper, fully KNX integratable multi-room audio solution that also offers the audio quality that especially higher-end residential projects look for.
Right.
So that's why we made, already 2 years ago now, we already had our multi-room amplifiers directly integrating in KNX. And what we now show here at ISE is our music server and also some additional features to integrate active speakers, but also surround amplifiers.
Yeah, well, it all looks great. I really appreciate you taking a few minutes to chat with me, and good luck with the rest of the show.
Thank you, and thanks for stopping by.
You got it. All right, I'm joined here by Alex Capisulatro of Josh AI. Alex, welcome to Amsterdam.
Thank you. It's a crazy show. It's great to be here.
Tons of energy here, very exciting. So happy to be sitting down with you to chat. Now, I understand you've had a busy year. You've done quite a few of these shows, is that right?
It's been a non-stop year. I think I've been home about 3 days so far.
Wow.
Which is crazy. You know, CES kicked us off, gave a talk there. Here in Amsterdam, we've got ProSource Summit coming up in March.
Wow.
And then lots of customer meetings, so it's been great.
Busy. That's great. So speaking of ISE here, you guys are doing a couple of, you're doing one talk and one course, I believe. Tell us quickly about those.
Yeah, so I'm giving a talk tomorrow. It's called How Humans Will Interface Technology in the Year 2020, which is really a look towards the future, 3-4 years out. And then teaching a course on Thursday, which is all about integrating voice control for the whole home.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to attending at least one of those. Let's talk about Josh AI. I know you guys have been really busy. One of the big stories that we saw recently was sort of a revamped pricing structure. Give us the rundown of that.
Sure. So we've always had this pricing structure where the dealer basically has a dealer price that they can buy and sell, typical model that we see in the industry. But we've been getting a lot of requests to see about a lower buy-in and then a monthly recurring revenue model.
Yep.
And so we're introducing a new model where the dealer has the option of either selling sort of the full price and then making money on the hardware, or they can do a lower price, get customers that maybe don't want to buy in at the full amount, and then they share in that monthly recurring model.
Okay, so that'll be like a recurring monthly thing for the owner, and then the integrator and Josh AI are going to have some sort of split on that revenue.
Exactly.
Correct?
Yep.
Okay. Gotcha. Also wanted to ask you about the demo program. You and I were talking about that a little bit here before we hit record. I thought that was interesting, so tell us about that.
Yeah, so we have a program specifically for dealers who are looking for a demo unit, often for their own home or their showroom. And part of that is we fly out, we do in-person training. We really want to get our partners on board.
Yep.
And that's been nonstop every week. It's been about 3 cities and
awesome.
All over.
That's great. So last couple of questions here. Let's talk about hardware first. So I'm hearing rumors of some Josh AI hardware, basically, and I know you guys aren't necessarily prepared to divulge all of the details on that, but what can you tell us?
Yeah, so we're working on a lot of things. Hardware is one of those, and we're hoping to announce a new product at CES, so towards the end of the year. I can't go into details yet, but we're pretty excited about what it is.
Gotcha. So just a little teaser here. Okay, so stay tuned for that. Also drivers, I know my partner here on the podcast, Seth Johnson, has been working with you guys on a Control 4 driver, I believe. I think you also mentioned Savant. Give us the overview of what you guys are doing in the driver space.
Exactly. So we've had the Crestron driver out for a little while now, but new is a Crestron DM driver that we're just about to release pretty soon.
Oh, wow.
Which is something we're very excited about. Seth has helped us out with the Control 4 driver, which is now live in a number of homes.
Yep.
And so that's helping us grow. And then Savant's the new one that we're working on as well.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on all that. It sounds like you guys are doing great, and I appreciate you taking a few minutes to chat with me here.
Yeah.
All right.
Jason.
Enjoy the show.
See you, Tim.
I'm here with Stuart from IHEG. Stuart, how's it going?
Going great.
Good. Welcome to Amsterdam.
Yep, you as
Enjoying
well.
the show so far?
Yeah, it's been really good.
Awesome. Well, I know actually just before this interview here, you came back from teaching a course here. Tell us a little about that.
Yeah, I had a full morning course with participants working through creating the client care plans, trying to grow their business towards recurring revenue. One of the big themes and the takeaways that I really focused with the participants on was laying the foundation for recurring revenue. Actually has nothing to do with recurring revenue. Really helped them to think through their businesses, what challenges they had structurally in order to be ready to have a more efficient and profitable service department, which then immediately allows you to start working towards recurring revenue as step 2. Or as I told them, step 0 is what I just talked about, and step 1 is starting recurring revenue.
So sort of building the foundation first.
Yeah, and so we workshopped through it, and the goal was, and I believe everybody said that we achieved it, is they had something tactical they were going to take back to their business next week and improve their service department.
That's great.
And then email me over the next weeks, months, years, tell me both their wins and their losses, and I plan to share that back through you and others as well, because sharing those successes and failures is the only thing that's going to help others.
Yeah, so speaking of service plans and RMR, this conversation in the industry, I feel like has reached a new level, and I'm just curious to know your perspective on that. Do you perceive the same thing, and if so, how have you seen that translating into the business of selling remote monitoring solutions?
Yeah, I mean, it's grown immensely over the 7 years that I've been in it. This last year has been one of the most precipitous changes in the market and the perception. I think people now understand more about what recurring revenue and better service, improved service really is.
Yep.
And much to what I just pointed out, that service plans don't have to necessarily be recurring revenue at the first, as well as the concept of starting easy and evolving over time.
Sure.
Not trying to jump off of the biggest building first, just jump up one stair.
Yeah.
And
put your toes in the water.
Yeah, try again.
Right. So a couple other quick questions here. I know you guys have a new hardware appliance since the last time that you and I spoke at CEDIA. So give us the overview of the App 750, I believe.
Yep. So the App 750 is our new replacement hardware. It can go in 100% of all the jobs that are done. We no longer have a bifurcation based on performance.
So you guys are reducing it down to just this one SKU.
Yeah, that's correct. So this one low-cost SKU should be installed at every one of the clients' homes, and it provides the baseline functionality for both the improved service as well as the recurring revenue service. It's a really great piece of hardware in addition, even though it is rather invisible. We took the time listening to customers about having screw-on power, for example, so that you don't have that case when it's in the rack upside down and the power falls out.
Yeah, it's a nice piece of hardware.
Yeah, thank you very much.
I don't know. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. I don't know if you have more on the hardware, but I wanted to make sure we touch on, because this is a message I got, but I feel like maybe got missed coming out of CEDIA, and it has to do with your guys' new pricing structure, and really that free tier where there's no recurring licensing. So talk about that, the reasoning behind why you guys decided to go that route as well.
Yeah, so we made a big switch. We listened to how the integrators were working through the process of the journey towards a lot of recurring revenue. And again, it started with this foundational piece. The problem with the foundation was they didn't get paid for it, or they're not getting paid for it. And so we ended up aligning, we created 2 service levels. So for every single site, you get to pick whether you're in what we call the light service level or the standard. Light service is focused with the features of reactive, but not proactive service being included.
Right.
So for example, we are monitoring the WAN performance, telling you what the ISP speeds are, and we allow you to do the remote troubleshooting, the remote reboots and resets of IP power distribution units, PoE units, soft cycles, all of those things. That's all included with no growth of recurring revenue.
So for that light tier, you're basically buying the hardware, one-time fee, and then it's free to use, and you get all that sort of, like you said, reactive troubleshooting, which is pretty powerful.
Yeah, I mean the industry has commoditized power cycling, especially in the U.S. with Snap AV and Blue Bolt and all of these others. It's a commodity, so we realized that we should just give away all the things that are commodities and keep the special stuff behind the wall.
Yeah.
And those more advanced functions are the ones that you're going to get paid for as an integrator,
right?
Because they should be involved in the higher end service plan. So we aligned our incentive structure such that we get paid only when you get paid, rather than us always getting paid, which is the way it used to be.
Yeah.
But that was a huge barrier. So now with that small increase of hardware cost, and a lot of dealers are just bundling it in at cost because there's no need to make money. It's a foundational thing. They can provide this really high level of customer service with no real functional changes to their business, and it's just really prime for disrupting. We have some dealers who are barely using the advanced functionality and have no intentions to for many months as they stabilize their business and improve things, and we're really satisfied with that. But because of the way our relationship works, we spend a lot of time with our account managers working with our accounts to find out what's the next step, what's the next hurdle, because we need them eventually over the long haul. We want them to move up in service, so we've again lined our incentives. We want to work with them to make their businesses more profitable, so that we can in turn become more profitable.
Got it. Well, I appreciate you taking a few minutes to chat with me, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Stuart. All right, I'm over here at the Lutron booth with Sam. Sam, how's it going?
It's going very well. It's an exciting and busy show. We've been coming to ISE for a long time. It's really good to be back. It's buzzing here today.
Yeah, it's a great show. It's my first time here, and really enjoying Amsterdam and really having a lot of fun at the show. So I appreciate you taking a few minutes to chat with me. I'm sure you're super busy here, but just wanted to catch up with Lutron. We're very big fans of the company back home. We talk about Lutron quite often, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to chat with you and learn about some of the things that maybe are a little bit different over here across the pond
welcome
than
to Europe.
In the States. Thank you so much. So first, let's talk about one thing that I don't think is unique to the European market, but new to Lutron, and that's the Palladium thermostat. Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So your listeners will be familiar with HomeWorks, and we've added into that range to complement the Palladium keypads. We've got a Palladium thermostat. So we've got that wonderful aesthetic styling that Palladium brings in glass, metal, or plastic, and now we've got a great user interface for heating and ventilation control.
Yeah.
It's got a hot set point, it's got a cold set point, it's got the wonderful dynamic backlight management technology that the Palladium system has. Large buttons, large screen, easy to use, and it looks great.
Yeah, the Palladium line is really a nice looking product, and I think very important, obviously, for the market that installers are serving, custom installers and Lutron. We really have to appease the designers, right, and the homeowners, and make sure that we're putting in products that match the aesthetic of the current home, and I think Palladium is a great example of that.
You're absolutely right, and as you say, it ticks all the boxes for interior designers. You've got the options of the various different finishes, the various different colors, and it doesn't look techy to an end user. Right. It doesn't look difficult to use, and of course, like the C-Touch as well, the buttons are all backlit, so you can find it in the dark, which is really important for lighting controls.
Yep. So let's talk about another thing that not necessarily unique to the European market, but newer. We've had it, I think, for maybe a little bit longer in the States, and you guys are just getting it here, and that is, of course, Echo integration, Amazon Alexa integration. So I understand you guys have that now over here, and how's that going for you?
Absolutely, we do. We absolutely love Alexa. And speaking personally, it revolutionizes the way you live. Great system, and so it's now fantastic that we can do scene control from Alexa to HomeWorks. So you just say, Alexa, turn Good Morning on. And there we go. So that's great. It's adding to the range of different user interface options that we have, and so it makes things convenient. We're all about pleasance. We're all about getting people's experience in the home to be as good as possible, and this is another string to our bow.
Definitely. So one thing that is unique to the European market that I've seen a lot of, I've talked to a number of different lighting control companies here, and you just sort of see it all over the place. You've got the DIN rail enclosures, and you and I kind of talked about that before we started recording here, and I'll post a picture up of the HomeWorks QS on the DIN rail, which I thought was cool to see. As an American, we just don't have that. But another thing that I've seen a ton of over here is Dolly, and this really has to do with addressable lighting. And I know in the States, our Lutron rep, at least where I work, has been talking about Lutron ecosystem, which I understand is sort of a similar thing. Certainly there are some differences there, but just talk generally about this idea of addressable lighting and how the intelligence in lighting control is starting to make its way maybe out of the panel and into the kind of the fixtures themselves.
Absolutely, yes. There are a few key technical differences between Ecosystem and DALI. Ecosystem has some additional capabilities, but over here, DALI, the digital addressable lighting interface, is a protocol that's been around for about a decade and a half now, and it's got a lot of following over here. It's extensively used. The idea is this. Back in the old days, you used to have light sources that were hot bits of wire, and you'd have powerful dimmers all enclosed in a panel or in a rack that would do the heavy lifting of doing the dimming of those fixtures. Well, times are changing, times have changed, and it's typical now to find that the clever, so to speak, is now incorporated in the drivers for the fixtures, typically LED drivers. And so rather than receiving a chopped up mains sine wave to give them the amount of power according to how bright you want them to be, instead you feed them with a constant main supply and then this two-wire digital control system that allows you to talk to the zones of lighting that you want to talk to, whilst up to 64 ballasts or drivers are all connected together. And so you can rezone very easily, and so the dimming equipment that used to be in the panel is now replaced by a clever DIN rail module, and the dimming feature itself is handled by the drivers distributed throughout the building. So it's kind of a movement out of the panels and risers and into the ceilings.
Yeah, it's a really interesting concept, and one I think that might take a little bit of time to wrap your brain around, but once you sort of understand what the idea is behind these addressable lighting control schemes, I think it's very interesting, and I do anticipate that becoming more common in lighting control. Would you agree with that?
I would certainly agree. There's loads of benefits to it. There's the flexibility, there's the fact that you can rezone from software rather than having to pull any different cables. In terms of cable installation, you're using less cable, and as the price of copper continues to rocket, that's a huge benefit. It's easy, it's flexible, it's a great choice, and it frees up rack space as well.
Yeah, so last question. I understand you're based in London, and you were telling me that Lutron's getting ready to open a big experience center over there. Tell us a little bit about that.
That's right, Lutron's new European experience center in London. Very exciting. It's opening very shortly, just a few weeks' time. We will have all of our products on display there, from residential through to our hospitality products, the My Room guest room system, our commercial products in Quantum. We've also built a training center there, so we'll be able to take more people in. Lutron loves teaching people about all aspects of lighting and lighting control, and so we'll be hosting that right in the centre of London. It's great. It's got great links to airports. There's a good hubbub of the creative community around. So we're just by Liverpool Street for those that know London, and we're opening soon. We'd love to invite everybody to come and visit.
Yeah, well, congratulations on that, and just want to thank you again for taking a few minutes to chat with me, and enjoy the rest of the show.
Very great pleasure. Thank you.
Sam. I have stopped by the Steinway booth here, and I'm joined by Lars and Thomas. Gentlemen, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. Enjoying Amsterdam?
Definitely, yeah.
Great. Well, I appreciate you taking a few minutes to chat with me. I just had a demo of the product, the new MP50, and it sounded great. Really cool demo. I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about, there's obviously a ton of speaker manufacturers at these trade shows, and really give you an opportunity to help me understand what is it about Steinway that makes you guys special.
Well, I think that it's the whole approach that we take. We don't look at the individual speaker, we look at the whole situation in your room. So when we make speakers, one of our philosophies is that we put the woofer in the corner, and that's to minimize reflections. So it's not a subwoofer we put in the corner, but if you take a full range speaker and you take the bass out of it, you just put it in a corner. And normally that would destroy your frequency response, but it makes a very good time response. And the frequency response we can correct in our DSPs. So I think that's one of the main differences. And of course, how we design the drivers, how
Sure.
we design the voicing of the speakers. We usually use very light speakers, and we cross over very high as well.
Okay, great. I know actually one of the big things they talked about during the MP50 demo is Room Perfect. Tell us about that.
Well, Room Perfect is one of the biggest patents in audio. What it does is it measures the power response of the room. So it's not just a frequency sweep as others have done. And it's fully automatic. So you follow a guide. It tells you what to do. It tells you when it's finished. You can always add more measurements later if you want to. And then it calculates the filters. Done. You don't have to be an engineer to set it up. You don't have to know anything about it. And you can do it twice in a row and have the same effect, which is more than what you can say for where we were 10 years ago.
Yeah. So I think just really looking at audio as a more of a holistic look at the room and figuring out again how to make that audio sound the best for the room that you're in, I think is obviously very important, and that was something.
And it's important to stress that it's a room correction. It's not a correction to make all speakers sound the same, because you obviously bought your speaker because you like the sound of that speaker.
Right.
So it takes away the effect of the room, and it doesn't, try to correct your speaker.
Sure. So in addition to the MP50, a couple of new speakers I believe you guys are showing here on the floor. I think it was the M112 and or MH2?
MH2
and the BW.
Yeah, so we have two brands. We have the Steinway & Sons and we have the Lyngdorf Audio.
Yep.
And in the Lyngdorf Audio, we sell component-based systems. So that means amplifiers and speakers you can combine with other brands.
Yep.
Whereas the Steinway is system-based. Everything you buy from us, you can't just buy one speaker. Yep. So in the Lyngdorf Audio brand, we are introducing a BW2 and an MH2. The BW2 is an active woofer, 10-inch with a 400-watt amplifier in there, developed by us. And the MH2 is a mid-high section, so it fits right into our philosophy about putting the woofer in the corner and having the mid-high as a very small, a nice speaker that your wife will also appreciate.
Got it. Well, that's important. That's important. One last question. I'm going to go high level. Excuse me, and Lars, maybe this better one for you. Just in today's day and age with consumer electronics getting so commoditized and inexpensive, how important do you see high-performance audio in today's world and as part of your guys' philosophy?
One of the thing I have been thinking about is that all the young people are using headphones today to get a better sound off their iPhone or the smartphone they have today.
Right.
So I think they could bring that back to the home again. So I think this in the future they also would like to buy high-end quality audio and systems for the home in the future. So that's how I see it.
It's a great experience, and I always enjoy when I sit into a really nice audio demo. It is
definitely
different. Yeah,
definitely.
So, thank you guys so much for taking a few minutes to chat with me, and good luck with what's left of the show here.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
I am joined by Kevin over here at the Taurus Power booth. Kevin, how's it going?
It's going good, Jason. How are you?
I'm doing great. Have you been enjoying the show?
It's been a busy show for us, so this is always a good show for us to be attending.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Well, I wanted to come by. This is, I have to admit, not a category that I've spent enough time getting educated about, and I wanted to come by and learn a little bit about, what these products are really about.
Sure.
Clearly, after my conversation with you, it's really more than just a power conditioner, right? There's quite a bit that goes into this, and so I wanted to give you an opportunity to tell our listeners a little bit about how you see the category and where you guys fit in and what you do special.
Sure, and the whole category is kind of considered to be a power conditioning category, but the products that we make are actually very different. We use an isolation transformer in all of our products. So for us, this is really a power isolation category rather than power conditioning. What makes isolation different is you're bringing in the voltage into a toroidal transformer, and then through a primary and a secondary winding on the transformer, you're actually disconnecting the voltage path and using a magnetic solution to provide power to the equipment. So by doing that, you have the capability of doing a bunch of things also that benefit an audio-video system. So you can actually make sure that the voltage going to the system is the proper voltage through using our transformers as a low-pass filter We can filter out any noise that's on the line more effectively than you can in other systems, and really provide the right power foundation for audio-video systems.
Yeah. Yeah, you talked about how that actually can make a measurable difference to the audio performance, and you have, of course, charts and things that can illustrate that.
You know, so what we typically hear and what we typically experience when you're using an isolation transformer is the soundstage is going to change. So the soundstage will become wider and deeper. You'll hear a lot more of the subtle dynamics in the music because you're lowering the noise floor to a large extent. So all of a sudden the subtle sounds and portions of the music become a lot more lively and evident. Vocals become more present in the music. And then the big thing for us with the isolation transformer is it's designed for dynamic capability. So when you're using it with an amplifier, you're going to hear a huge change in the bass attack and the performance of the amplifier. And that's what separates us from the whole category.
Right.
You know, typically you'd not really put an amplifier on a power conditioner because it'll restrict the dynamics of the amplifier. As a company, we've designed power supplies for amplifiers for over 35 years. So what we've designed in the toroidal transformer, the isolation transformer, is actually something that will work with the amplifier to provide more dynamic capability.
Yeah.
So it's really providing a better platform for the amplifier to work.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, reducing noise for the audio-video systems is so important. But if you're not doing it for the amplifier, then the amplifier is just amplifying the noise.
Right.
So that's really the most important piece that needs to have this type of foundation.
Yeah. Speaking of noise, sounds like we got a party going on next door here. But we're good. We'll keep going. One of the things that was interesting that you mentioned to me that I think a lot of people, myself included, don't necessarily think about with this sort of product is that it can actually help the reliability of systems as well, so control systems come to mind. Talk about that for a second.
It can. We use a system, a voltage regulation system on many of our products where we're looking at what's going on with the voltage in the environment. And if the voltage is fluctuating in the environment, say it's going as low as 85 volts or maybe up to 135, we take that and through a series of different windings on the transformer, we'll actually use the transformer to adjust the voltage and output 120 volts to the equipment. So it may be changing in the environment, but the equipment won't see that. And when you're using some of these complex systems, a lot of microprocessors, there are a lot of things that are sensitive to the voltage. If you're providing the right voltage to all of that equipment, then your system will be much more reliable. You won't have the problems that come from drops in voltage, maybe voltage sags that cause microprocessors to stop working, or when the voltage gets hot, maybe burning out some of the equipment.
Yeah.
So we tend to control that through our voltage regulation technology.
Okay. Last question I wanted to ask you, I think there is a perception of these, I would classify them as high-end power solutions, but I think there may be a perception of these as being universally expensive and really targeted at very high-end audiophile systems only. And I'm learning here that that's not the case. There are different solutions and sizes of these transformers that you can put into all different types of applications. So touch on that for a second.
Well, there are, and the way that we approach it is we approach it by making a wide range of solutions, anything from a small 4-amp transformer up to 300 amps, and we try to take an approach of learning about the customer, finding out what the customer is using for their equipment. We'll do a load calculation on what the power requirements are for all of that equipment, and then we can provide a solution that's going to be matched perfectly to that equipment. So in some cases, a small integrated amplifier, maybe a small receiver, we've got small solutions for that, but we can go all the way up to multi-million-dollar theaters with multiple racks of equipment and make sure that everything's using the same grounding point, the same phase of the electrical.
Yep.
So everything's being run off of one power foundation, and that really makes all the difference.
Okay, great. Well, I appreciate you taking a few minutes to chat with me and enjoy what we have left of the show here. Thanks,
Thank you
Kevin.
very much.
I'm here with Domenico at the Domots booth. How's it going?
Hi, it's going great. Thank you. Good
yeah.
seeing you.
Show's winding down. Did you enjoy your time here in Amsterdam?
Yeah, well, I didn't see much of Amsterdam, but it's been 4 full days is really good. I'm going back on with a smile.
Great. Well, I appreciate you taking a few minutes to chat with me. I know you guys have a bunch of stuff going on. It's getting kind of hard to keep up with Domots and what you guys are doing. So a couple of the big things that we've touched on, one of them is this new manufacturer support feature. You're working with a couple of different partners. So tell us about that.
Yeah, we just released the features actually a week ago, where we are enabling a dealer to receive help from a manufacturer. We launched it together with Luxol, but we have about a dozen other manufacturers that are soon coming on board. Essentially, it's a really, really easy to use feature. Our system, our platform, automatically identifies the manufacturers that provide this feature and enable the dealer to touch of a button to share the network with that manufacturer and to give them full access so they can get real help. And this is a great benefit for both the dealer and the manufacturer.
Yeah, it really works. It really works well together to kind of streamline that support process. And you showed me a little sample of it here.
Yeah, and we also there's some added value distributors that are coming on board on that platform, so it's getting really good reception.
Got it. One of the other things that I saw recently is a new partnership with D-Tools. I think you said is going to come online maybe sometime around April.
Yep.
And just talk about what that looks like.
We are, we always try to focus on our users and making it easy for them to use our system. The partnership with D-Tools goes a long way in doing that, along with all our other efforts around identifying devices. But the initial moment, the initial experience, whenever you set up a Domots box or any device, is the configuration, and we want to make that really easy. So the partnership with D-Tools allows a user to utilize all the information they already have put inside D-Tools in the spec of that job, and that should make the setup of a Domots box really, really easy and fast, because you are just grabbing all the names and makes and models and of those devices out of just pushing a button. So it's a great thing.
Right. So you're mentioning, the goal of that is to speed up configuration of systems. There's a second piece to that that's very relevant with you guys in your acquisition of Fing a while back, and I understand there's been a lot of work going into that, and talk about how that's going in the context of speeding up system deployment.
Yeah, Fing is bringing a wealth of knowledge into the Domots world. It's the application is really spreading like wildfire. We have 30,000 downloads every day. We have millions of users, and we launched the cloud features on Fing, which allows for better identification of devices. Thanks to our users, we have now mapped over 3 billion devices, where we can tell you a MAC address, linking it to a type, a model number, and a brand. And that's extremely useful also within the Domots confines. So we're benefiting from, thanks to our users, to improving everybody's knowledge about what's out there.
Got it. So once you have these devices all configured and hooked into the system, obviously you gotta get the data out of them and have ways to monitor and manage them. And I know one of the things that you also mentioned you have coming up is SNMP, and so talk about that.
Yeah, we have so far focused on really giving an awareness into what's on the system and whether it's alive or not. We're going one step farther, both through integration into manufacturers and adding SNMP monitoring of custom OIDs, which is going to allow a user to monitor any variables in their systems, whether it's temperature, CPU usage, memory, and in order to allow them to understand whether a system is not just dead or alive, but if it's feeling well or not very well.
Sure. And last question here, I know you guys recently announced a consumer-facing app that allows end users to perform certain functions, and I understand there are some improvements coming to that shortly. So what can you tell us about that?
Yeah, again, we conducted over 100 interviews amongst our users, received a lot of feedback, and we are refining the user experience even more than it is right now by really focusing on the problems that a user might experience. So the trick with any consumer-facing application is to show less information but relevant information, and to step into those users' shoes. So we're going to have a different user experience that comes in, which I think which is really the result of all the feedback that we received. And we released functionality every 2 weeks. We were quite quick in adapting and seeing in refining the experience for our customers.
Great. Well, I really appreciate you taking a couple of minutes to chat with me here, and wish you safe travels back home.
Thank you very much.
Right,
you
thanks,
too.
Dominic.
Thank you.
All right, I've got Ryan from Screen Innovations here. Ryan, how's it going?
Awesome.
Great. I love the booth here. Give our listeners, I'm sure most of them are very familiar with Screen Innovations, but just in case, why don't you give us a quick introduction to your company and what makes you guys unique?
Absolutely. So Screen Innovations started in my garage, literally. I still have metal shavings in my hair, and my hair stands straight up from all the glue that I used in the very beginning. But it's been nothing but fun, man. We're enjoying reinventing the industry and doing stuff that people never thought possible.
Right.
And just trying to see around that corner and be more innovative compared to how we were in the past. If you look at where TVs are going and you look at where LED light walls going, it's becoming very, very big and affordable very quickly. But there's a lot of faults that basically you can't be creative with how you display it or use it. So we've kind of always been controlled by where the TV goes in the room and our whole room follows. So we're just trying to find a way around that and come up with new designs that allow people to actually be creative and do whatever they want with their image.
Well, speaking of being creative, we're standing here right in front of the new Transformer screen, and this thing is amazing. I love it. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so Transformer was one of those things as well where we try to do the opposite of what the world is doing because we don't really like what the world's doing. And Transformer, just like Zero Edge, when we invented Zero Edge, we just realized that just because Black Diamond works with the lights on doesn't mean that it was going to be allowed to be in the living room. We call the Velvet Elvis frame Velvet Elvis for a reason because it's just old school and it doesn't look cool. Well, if you look at the masking screens that are out there, they're 2-3 feet deep. They take a day and a half to install. We wanted to cut that down to an hour, and there's just no wow factor. You're paying more money to cover up part of your screen, and I just don't agree with that. So Transformer was born to make something that's absolutely beautiful, make it simple and easy to install, and I promise you, every single customer that puts one in their house, the first thing they're going to do is run down the street and grab their buddy and show it to them. And guess what? You did the install, so you guys are going to get more business. It's really cool.
It's very, very cool. I got a video that we'll be sure to put up on our website at HomeTech.fm. A couple other things you guys are showing here. I know you've got the Zero G, which is something you've been working on for a while. Give us the latest on that.
Yeah, again, motorized screens have been around for 100 years. Nothing's changed. Tab tensioning and things of that nature are kind of a staple. And what we've discovered is with a motorized screen that you really can't put it anywhere you want. You're limited with drop and things of that nature. Plus, it just doesn't look cool. So Zero G was the goal was to levitate your image anywhere. And if you look again, you look at a television or a flat panel or anything of that nature, it dictates how you lay your room out. And people buy a house. They spend a fortune on their view. Their glass is the most expensive part of the house, and they can't even face it. You can't mount a flat panel in the middle of a window. So Zero G was born to basically levitate an image anywhere, anytime. And what it's doing for the commercial market, as well as the residential market, we didn't even anticipate. We just wanted to make something cool, and to see how people are getting creative and actually using this product, it's absolutely phenomenal.
So one more question, and because I think this is an interesting story. We were just talking about it before we hit record here. The parachute cord. Tell us that anecdote. How
Absolutely.
That came about.
So Zero G turned into a 2-year science project because we kept breaking cables. So we're very keen on cycling and getting cycle tests out to 20 years plus. And I came back from a trip. My wife took me on a kiteboard trip, and I came back to the factory and it was on the ground again. And it literally was heartbreaking because we had spent about 1.5 years trying to perfect this thing and get the cycle done. At the same time, I was frustrated. It hit me like a ton of bricks. What about that parachute cord that drugged me all over the place while kiteboarding? Grabbed my entire engineering team, took them out in the parking lot, flew one of my starter kites in the parking lot, let my engineer grab it, drug him across the parking lot, lifting him off the ground, and literally I crashed the kite and I pulled the Dyneema up and I said, what do you know about Dyneema? So we started researching, sure enough, 7 times stronger than steel, doesn't have all the tensile issues and the brittle issues that you get with cables over time. Instantly, we fixed it.
It's great.
And it's just part of innovation. Everyone in the company thinks that way, and we're creative and innovative, and we just have a good time, and that's how we end up where we are.
Awesome.
It's just great.
Well, I love it. I really appreciate you taking a couple of minutes to chat with me, and good luck with the rest of the show.
Absolutely, man. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate it.